everyone, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about Repashy Soilent Green and showing you how to make it for your fish or invertebrate. Now, Repashy is actually a very popular brand in the pet industry. However, if you don't have reptiles, you may have not heard of it. They do primarily make food for reptiles, supplements, as well as food for their feeder insects, but they do make the odd one for aquatic creatures as well, and that would be Soilent Green. Now that gets me into who truly can eat this. Now this is basically an algae-based meal, so pretty much any fish that will eat algae can eat this as well. So snails and shrimp, and especially algae eaters like corycats and plecos, they will live off of this, and they can eat this, and you don't have to worry about having, a bunch of algae actually growing in your tank because they can be supplemented with this. You may also notice some tropical fish, if your tank does have some algae growth, that they'll be picking along at the sides. I've seen mollies do it, as well as some goldfish do it as well. So you can actually feed this to them as treats. And this is kind of similar to the premise of an algae wafer. Now, what are the true differences between this and algae wafers? Well, for starters, this is actually a powder. You can add some boiling water to it and it will turn into a gel. And then these gel cubes, you can cut them up and add them to your aquarium. So they are definitely a lot softer, and you do have to prep them yourself. However, because this is a powder and, when you add water to it, you get a lot more than, what you see here in this bottle. So it's really customizable in how much you want to add. Overall, your money will go quite a long way as opposed to buying algae wafers. Another big difference is the ingredient list. Now, a lot of times, no matter which brand you get in algae wafers, you're going to get a lot of, the algae, but then you're going to get a lot of fillers that just kind of add substance, but no nutritional value. These things can be, fish meal, wheat meal, anything like that. And this does have it, but it is further down the list. Now, one thing, if you don't know about ingredients lists, is whatever comes first is what there is the most of. So the higher up the list fish meal is, the greater concentration of it in the product. So this one doesn't have wheat meal at all, but it does have fish meal, but it is a couple rows down. It's not the first or second ingredient like in some algae wafers I've seen. Now, one bonus of having a different proportioned ingredient list is that your fish may be more enticed to eat this than a algae wafer. For one, algae wafers are firm, and algae is naturally going to be soft, like this gel. So it closely mimics biofilm, which is what your fish might naturally eat. Secondly, there is actually a lot of spices in here that might add some flavor and might entice your fish to eat a little bit more. So this one actually has some garlic, it has paprika, turmeric, salt, everything like that, and it is chock full of vitamins as well. Now for me, I'm celiac, so I can't touch wheat or gluten without getting any kind of reaction. So for me personally, the fact that I can feed this to my fish and not have to worry about wearing gloves or getting someone else to feed my fish the algae wafers, I can feed this myself because there is no wheat in it. So if you have that issue as well, then there you go, there's another bonus. The one con about it is a lot harder to find than algae wafers. Repashy Soilent Green is a lot more specific, and my PetSmart does carry Repashy items for geckos, but it does not carry this. I did have to order this on Amazon.ca because I could not find it literally anywhere in person. So now let's get into how you make it. It is actually super easy to make. Now when you go and make this, make sure you have a small container that does have a lid. For me personally, I can use some containers that I have, gotten feeder insects from that no longer have insects in them and they're nice and clean. But you can also use a small makeup container or craft container that hasn't been used for any other beauty products or food or anything like that. And that will be perfectly safe for you to use as well. You are going to make a lot more than you're going to use. So if you keep it in a container with a lid, you can store it in your fridge and you can keep it similar to how you would keep a leftover. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and boil some water. So I'm going ahead and adding just a small amount of powder to my container. I find that this is a good enough amount for me, but of course this is personal. When your water is boiled, add it to the powder, and if you want, add it slowly and a little bit at a time so that you won't have to worry about adding too much water. If it's a nice dark green, but not clumpy, then you have the perfect amount. Once it's all mixed, you can leave it to solidify. If you need it right away, you can put it in the fridge and it'll solidify much quicker, but then you're gonna have to wait for it to warm up a little bit. But if you leave it just out, it'll solidify on its own. Honestly, it is pretty quick either way. You're not gonna have to wait too long. Once it's all solidified, you can go ahead and feed it to whatever fish or invertebrate you are choosing to feed it to. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you can go ahead and throw the leftover part in the fridge, and it will be able to last a lot longer. Basically, until it starts to dry up, you can keep it in there and feed it to your fish as you need it. Now, in addition to the small jar of pre-made Repashy, you can keep the whole bottle of Soilent Green in your fridge as well, and it would make it last longer. So, because I have the room, I do keep all of my Repashy products, this one included, in the fridge. So that is all I have to say about Repashy Soilent Green. I'm really glad I learned about it in my purchasing of my many Repashy items. I think it is a great alternative to veggie wafers, and I think they're just a lot healthier, and for me personally, easier to handle, and I feel like you get more for your money, so that's definitely a bonus for me. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, but that is all for today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys!